Now, you mentioned SGA talking, or the Denver Nuggets and the difference between them and the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Thunder, and SGA spoke about that difference with the media afterwards.
Did you feel that at all during the game, that you have to remind yourself, oh, this isn't Denver anymore?
It felt different from jump. They're more like pressure-oriented. It feels like a little more physical. But at the end of the night, it's basketball. They throw you a problem and you have to solve it, whatever it looks like, and that's what it is every night. And that's what it was tonight. They had different coverages, different personnel out there, and we have to attack it and work together as a unit to solve the problems out there. And we did that.
So that was
very cerebral.
Yeah, very cerebral. Oh, I mean, listen, it's an exhausting game he has where he. If his shot doesn't go, he throws himself on the floor and hopes for a foul call. I mean, that's got to be exhausting.
That's what you're going to hit him with?
I mean, come on, man.
I think for SGA, that's 100% the logic, and it's a proper logic. I think for Hartenstein and Holmgren and Williams, I think it's very different. It's a very different series for them. Rudy Gobert is not going to present the same problems and the same issues that they dealt with Denver and with Jokic. There's no team where they're going to deal with that down low. And the physicality of what Jokic brings, I think, is maybe understated sometimes. I mean, he will shoulder you. He will body you to get positioned to make the plays that he's able to make so consistently, whether it's scoring points, whether it's rebounding, whether it's getting, a good pass off. Jokic does a tremendously amazing job of how he positions himself to create spacing, to have a triple threat, which is to be able to shoot, drive, to go shoot from where he's at, or to be able to pass it. And they're not going to experience that against Minnesota. There's no bigs that present the issues that Jokic presented, not to mention what you had to deal with Aaron Gordon and leading up until he, was too sore to be more effective than what he was. I think Denver was probably the biggest, which I felt like would be maybe a drawback, but now that the way I saw they played last night, could be a tremendous catalyst for them. They looked like a championship team last night, even though I didn't like their shot selections. If the shots aren't going down for you the way that you need them to go down, then you got to have something that evens and balances everything out. And their defense did. Their defense kept them close, kept them in the game until they were able to make some plays, make some shots, and pull themselves into the lead of the game. So, I like what SGA is saying, but I also would say that, it might have not have been as physical in the Denver series as it was in this one for SGA, but I will certainly say it was a hell of a road, a hell of a hill to take over, a mountain to climb if you were big in that Denver game playing for the Oklahoma Thunder.
You know what I've wondered? So if you drive, like NASCAR, or if you're an Indy car racer and you're used to driving fast, when you drive on the streets in your car, do you just have this habit of you just resort to driving fast constantly? Because that's what you do for a living. And I wonder the same thing about SGA. Like when he goes home, if he bumps into the coffee table, do he just throw himself on the ground? Because that's what he does at work. How does that happen? If he drops his toothbrush, is he looking around for a whistle? Like, hey, can I get a call here? Like, how does that work? Because it's a bit much, and it feels like Anthony Edwards
was a bit less.
Anthony Edwards.
Damn.
It feels like Anthony Edwards is at some point in this series going to get fed up with it.
Flopping at home.
I'm just like Anthony Edwards strikes me as an old school type player. It's why we love him, and I just wonder at some point if there's going to be some sort of an interaction. I think he threw the ball at him at one point last night, and I just wonder who's going to get fed up with it to the point to where there's a scene and some sort of I don't know if retaliation would be in order, but if there's something that's done about it. Because it is pretty
I don't think
expensive.
it doesn't come across as like what we're going to see with Indiana and New York. I think that could have the potential of being chippy just because of the history between the two franchises. But I don't see there being malice between these guys. I think they're it's a bunch of young dudes out there trying to get it in. Few sprinkled in older dudes, but not crazy old. I don't see that being an issue, to be honest. I mean, guys flop. It's just a normal thing, man. And listen, they played the Lakers. They played the flopper of all floppers, man.
Who's that?
And LeBron flops.
Oh, gosh.
He's a flopper.
How could you?
No, it's not me insulting him. I mean, it's just a part of his game. That's in his toolbox, is to flop. And it, sometimes it works out into your favor because you get calls and different things like that could impact the game, could slow the pace down, the tempo down, could any given thing. When you're flopping, you're trying to get a call, you're trying to get a competitive advantage. Some people hate it. I don't like it per se, particularly, but I understand what flopping represents.
Hey, remember how much heat Mahomes got for it during that?
Well, that's
was
different.
It Christmas?
A quarterback flopping is different.
Why?
Because I played football and I hit quarterbacks for a living. So it's a little different when quarterbacks flop.
If you're really going to go down violently, can I hit you violently so I can get my money's worth out of this? If we're going to get 15 yards, can I at least get my money's worth out of this? I get it.
I think most charges, Jonas, are flops. If we're being honest, if you're taking a charge, I remember in high school, I was so strong. And I played basketball. I was so strong that when I would be in position to take a charge, cover myself up with my hands, brace myself for the blow, and the dudes would drive and run into me, but they would fall, and I was still standing there like it was a pick, and I would get the foul. I just didn't. I was too afraid to just let myself flop. You're supposed to. You're taught in practice when somebody runs into you or bumps into you, when you're set up, like you have your feet set and everything is set playing defense, to flop down. That's what coaches teach you in practice, is to flop down onto the ground. Most charges, if you were to really identify or to study most charges, they're flops. So, and for what it's worth, when you're getting charging fouls, more often than not, the guy is flopping. So it is what it is. I'm not offended by it. I think it's more entertaining more than anything else when you see a blatant flop. I don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. So, yeah. And to that point, I'm giving OKC their credit. They played a game where both teams, again, I felt shot poorly or had very, very poor shot selection, and yet it was their defense, which I'm a defensive guy. It was their defense that made the difference, and I'm curious, will it be the defense that ultimately is the undoing of the Timberwolves, or can they get hot, or will they be more aggressive trying to get to the hole? Maybe they weren't able to get to the hole, Jonas. Maybe I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, man, you gotta access the key. You gotta show them that you can make plays and score points, slashing and getting to the hole, easy mid-range jump shots, to closer jump shots in, and work your way out. You get a couple threes here and there. If you miss, it's not a big deal because it's only a couple. But if your shots are all from outside, if you're shooting from around the perimeter, just inside the perimeter, you're going to live and die by that ball. And that's what happened with Minnesota last night. So it'll be interesting to see what game 2 looks like.
Like if they're at a restaurant in Oklahoma City, and on the other side of the restaurant, a waiter drops a tray, does SGA throw himself on the ground as well too? Like, do you think?
Well, I think if the waiter is going through the tables, and SGA were happening to get up to go to like the restroom or to the bar or something like that,
that's fair.
And he like kind of like brushed brushed up on him,
That's fair.
I think he would flop back into the booth or
Correct.
onto the floor. Yeah.
Correct. Like there was
And get a call, by the way.
I would agree.